to Tuesdays at 2. And today we're going to be looking at some of the very best virtual field trips. I'm Antoinette LaGrossa, your host. For those of you not familiar with Schiller Learning, we are part of the nonprofit Rising Stars Foundation, and we are here to support educators in the goal of maximizing your students' potential and keeping in spirit with the no lesson prep nature of our math and language arts curriculum. We put together this virtual field trip guide for you. Oh, if you have any questions during the presentation, do just put those into the chat. And then we do also have a Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions on math, language arts, homeschooling in general, we can also help you with those at the end of the presentation today. Okay, and we have folks from all over on today. I am seeing some, oh, Puerto Rico, that sounds nice and warm, much nicer than Pennsylvania right now. So we've got Ohio, Tennessee, Canada, pretty much all over. So no matter where you are in the world, you are going to be able to take part in virtual field trips. That's one of the nice things about the resources that have been developed. A lot of these have risen out of the fact that a lot of these locations are closed to the public. So virtual field trips are nice because you don't have to take a long trip. So it's going to be less expensive. The admission to a lot of these resources is completely free. And then it's nice because you get to go places you may not have ever gone before, but you can also check out things that you would consider going to. Often one of the first trips that kids will go on is a farm tour. And so I know locally for us, those have been closed as well. There are virtual farm tours that are really nicely done. Farm tours are great because they connect kids to their food, they support local agriculture, and it gives your child a chance to be exposed to careers that they may not have been otherwise. And they'll be able to see how their milk gets to the grocery store, or how cheese is made, and farming as well. The American Dairy Association, and I also do have a handout that I will be sending out to everyone. So I have all of these links in a handout for you. They are on the screen also. But the American Dairy Association Northeast has put together a great collection of virtual farm tours that you can connect with, a real modern dairy farm right from home. There's even some chat opportunities. So they have some recorded events, and then you can check out their site. They have new events scheduled coming up in May. If you are a teacher, home educator as well, they have some educational resources that can go along and support that. But it was a nice surprise to see that farm tours have gone virtual and that there's a really quality option out there. Okay, also going to be generally for young children. Now, the farm tours, by the way, that doesn't have to be just for young kids. That's certainly something that is great for multi-age. The Children's Museum, this is generally going to be for young kids. Like many other across the country, the Boston Children's Museum is temporarily closed to the public. However, you can do a virtual tour of the museum, controlling your walkthrough of 3 floors of museum exhibits. And one of the nice things about this tour in general is that you have those Zoom controls. It's not just a set video for you to watch. You actually decide which floor you want to start with, what direction you're going to go in, which exhibits catch your eye, and you'll want to go up to zoom into and read the displays and linger. So it's like you're getting to actually walk through the museum. The Boston Children's Museum in particular, it's the second oldest and one of the most influential children's museums in the world. So this is a nice opportunity to be able to tour that museum that you may not have been able to otherwise. Uh, so check that out. They do have, again, 3 floors, a wide variety of exhibits. They have natural history, global culture, dolls and doll houses, Japanese artifacts. So there is a lot in there to see. And again, that is completely free. One of my personal favorite family field trips, we have done this one more than once, is Colonial Williamsburg. And they have a collection of virtual tours available on their site. So you're going to be able to go to the website, immerse yourself in Colonial Williamsburg from anywhere in the world. Um, you can research the entire historic area experience, from how buildings were reconstructed to what artifacts are on their walls. And you'll be able to do that in the 360-degree experience and be able to tap on icons to get more information on those things that catch your eye. Again, pretty similar to being able to walk through a site and be drawn to particular things that are of interest to you. And kids tend to enjoy that type of interactive experience. So if you have one that's not too crazy about just, sitting and watching a video tour of somewhere, one of those that's a 360 may draw them in a little bit better. And so the sites that have that 360, if you have a device that was produced after 2016, you're going to have a good experience at any of these sites. Okay, so at Colonial Williamsburg, you are going to be able to take part in a virtual scavenger hunt, tour a architectural preservation site, and go behind the scenes. Now, of course, Colonial Williamsburg is a fabulous destination for homeschool families, and they do offer special homeschool weeks. So look for information on their website for those as well. We've actually done homeschool week at Williamsburg and really enjoyed it. And I think if you've watched Tuesday at 2 before, you've actually seen, I know I've included some pictures of the kids in historical dress at Williamsburg. So we've got, the farm tours, Colonial Williamsburg, a children's museum, and now we're going to hit a zoo. Of course, a zoo is a very traditional field trip for elementary school kids. This, again, is going to be good for multiple ages. The Smithsonian Zoo. They have a nice tour. It's based in Washington, D.C. They, of course, promote conservation of wildlife habits. And there are 3 different ways on their site of bringing the zoo to you. They have videos to explore, information on their site, but they also have the webcams that we all love to be able to just, drop in there at any time and watch the animals live. That screenshot that is there, it was a live shot watching their elephants. You can also see kangaroos and sloths, as well as some of their others. So live webcams are often, really popular with kids, but they have a ton more educational resources on their sites. Okay, so now we have land animals covered. Let's take a look in the ocean at the National Aquarium in Baltimore, Maryland. It is one of the best aquariums in the nation. Um, Again, this is another 360 experience you'll be able to have. You can explore their shark alley, dolphins, jellies. They have a webcam with their Atlantic coral reef, their Pacific coral reef, an Amazon river, and even a tropical rainforest. And you can view all of those live in real time from the comfort of your sofa. Their exhibits are easy to find on their site, and again, has that 360 option. One of the things you need to keep in mind with the 360 option is that it can have a little bit of a learning curve for the kids to be able to get used to those controls. And if you have a child who gets dizzy easy, you may want to guide them in the beginning as they are learning how to use those, because if they're not careful, you can spin a little quickly. Um, so that is another benefit, by the way, of doing all of these virtual field trips, is that your kids are going to get familiar with a variety of video technologies. Okay, the Baltimore's National Aquarium has more than 20,000 aquatic animals. So anytime, this is one that you can go back to over and over again and really get to see a lot of different things. Kids can click and drag images to navigate their way around. And use a scene list also to pick which of those that they would like to visit. So definitely one of the better virtual field trip experiences. Is anyone else having flashing on their screen? And did that flashing go away? Okay, awesome. And I'm sorry, I just spotted that. Okay. So we've got farm animals, land animals, sea animals, a historic site, and now we're going to hit a national park. This is one that ends up on a lot of people's destination list to actually go to and visit. That is Yellowstone National Park. Um, you can now do so from the comfort of your home. They have multiple tours, lots of historical information on the site, amazing images. Of course, this is one of our, beautiful national treasures. So there are still images on the site, as well as, of course, video tours. So there is written information in their tour as well. So that's nice too for the older kids. And They offer several virtual tours that, again, are those 360 experiences. Uh, because there's a lot of written information, the official age recommendation for those are um, older elementary and middle school students, but I think you'll find that students of all ages enjoy those. You know, the information is fascinating and the views are amazing. They can learn about things like Old Fort Yellowstone, um, anomalies such as mud volcanoes, and it's just a unique way for kids to, you know, further discover some of our, you know, better known national parks. Okay, we are touring the world, and now we're going to temporarily go to outer space. Uh, NASA has some of the best virtual field trip resources available. Uh, so I'm going to highlight actually a few of those. This is simply the NASA live stream. They do have scheduled events in there. For example, this Thursday, they are going to be, some of the folks on the International Space Station will be interviewed on Good Day LA, and NASA flight engineers are going to have um, an interview as well. There's an interview with a congressperson and the International Space Station. So this week alone, and there will be a link to their schedule, by the way, uh, also in that list, in addition to the link to the live stream itself. So you've got their live stream with different interviews. There is also simply the live stream for the space station. This is another thing that really any time of day or night, you can pull this up and, you know, take a look at what is happening in space. Kids tend to be fascinated by outer space. So these are great resources to pair with your science curriculum when you're learning about the solar system. Uh, so in addition to that International Space Station live stream, they have some space webcams. So you can get subject specific with your webcam exploration. Um, the blood moon is really neat. The EarthCam, to actually take a look back at Earth, that is going to be a great thing to pair with any of your Earth sciences. Tons of topics where you can include that in. And then Mars. So that's a hot topic right now with potentially a trip there. So excellent resources from NASA. Okay, so then let's take return to Earth. This is really neat. There's two of similar to this that I'm going to show you. So this one is EarthCam. And with this, you can tour the world. You can watch manatees in Florida, zoo animals in Asia, or even just people watch in Europe or anywhere in the world. EarthCam exists to encourage exploration, foster discovery, and connect people through innovative live camera technology. And it was built as a way to transport people to interesting and unique locations around the world that may be difficult or even impossible to experience in person. It provides a virtual window to the world, and you can freely explore around the globe from really interesting vantage points, such as you can actually look out from the the torch balcony at the Statue of Liberty, which has actually been closed to the public since 1916. So that's definitely something that, even if you were to visit the Statue of Liberty, it's something that you would not be able to do otherwise. You can view other popular landmarks and locations such as Times Square, the World Trade Center, the Statue of Liberty, Bourbon Street, and even, the Abbey Road crossing in London. So again, these are live streaming. Some of them are the 360 technology, and there are also some time lapse videos. So there's a variety of what you will find in there. This is again going to make a nice tool for any social studies or language arts curriculum. Reading about somewhere historical events that are happened somewhere, or reading about characters in a novel and the places they're going and the experiences they're having, getting to pull that up on a webcam and see that can be a really neat experience. And this is a nice resource for that. Speaking of language arts, however, Google Lit Tours is actually that and more already laid out for you for specific um, pieces of literature. So Google Lit Trips offers downloadable files that follow the journeys of characters from famous literature using the power of maps from Google Earth. So you're going to get that, similar experience to what we just looked at. But the essence of that Google Lit Trips, though, is that the project uses Google Earth to create 3D literary field trips where students virtually become able to travel along with their characters in the stories. And they have stories that these are created for, ranging from kindergarten all the way through college level. So no matter how old your student is, check out the reading list there. They do, again, they offer specific titles for certain grade levels. And this was an example of one for K-5 that is on the screen there. And then they place markers at different mileposts along that journey. And then there will be pop-up windows that contain lots of additional resources to additional media, supplementary information. And it's just really brings your child into the experience of literature in a unique way. I think as I was going through, probably 4 or 5 of these were brand new to me. Google Lit, it's internationally acclaimed and has won multiple awards. That was one that was a new one for me. So this is a little similar to EarthCam, but I wanted to include it as an additional resource for this, because the quality of the film at Pano is amazing. And so you'll be able to pick specific places. And again, you can see that all over the world. And okay. And so you'll be able to take just and the camera at Air Pano, I think is better than any of the others. And my chat disappeared. Okay. Is better than any of the others. It doesn't have quite the variety available, but for the places that you are able to visit, I think this has superior images. Oh, it also has really relaxing, soothing music as you're taking the tours. So it really helps you to just get lost in the geography and the views. Okay, so that is actually going to wrap up for today. The list of the best field trips. I think no matter your student's age, no matter what your students are interested in, you're going to find um, some virtual field trips in here that you can all enjoy together as a family. If you have a favorite virtual field trip site, we would love to hear about that. We do have a list that as soon as this ends, that is going to go out in an email. There'll also be a link to it in the replay below. Let us know how you like the trips, what your kids' favorites are, and before you know it, you'll be able to